Alright, hey guys, remember CCG back in the video. With this, remember you guys my Red Dragon Archfiend deck profile, and this is post the new selection pack in Master Duel. So if you guys want to stay tuned for the combos, I'm going to be dropping that real soon. But here we're going to get started. I run one copy of the Effect Veiler as the hand trap, two copies of Synchron Resonator. This card's great because if it's sent from the field to the grave, you can target a Resonator monster in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. So it adds a little bit of recyclability with it. Three copies of Maxi because this is Master Duel. Two copies of Crimson Resonator. So this card, if you control no monsters, you can special summon it from the hand. And if the only monster you control is exactly one Dark Dragon, then you can special summon up to two Resonator monsters from your hand or deck. And usually the targets of that would consist of like Synchron Resonator or Vision Resonator. Speaking of which, Vision Resonator here, if there's a level 5 or higher Dark monster on the field, then you can special summon this card out. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a spell trap that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend from your deck to your hand. So you can see a spell trap surge built into one of the Resonator monsters. Then we run 3 copies of Ash Blossom because generic hand trap, that's good. I have 3 copies of Soul Resonator. This card, when it's normal or special summon, you can add one level 4 or lower fiend monster from your deck to your hand. And then it also protects your Red Dragon Archfiend or Synchro monster that mentions it from the grave. So it's just a great monster that provides a lot of value and helps the consistency of the deck go up by quite a bit. Then we have 2 copies of the Wandering King Wildwind. It's a level 4 non-tuner that you can special summon out. Not only that, it can actually search something out during the next turn after it's used. And then we have 1 copy of Obsessive Yugioh. So if this card is in your hand, you can target one synchro monster you control or in your grave, banish it, and then you can bring this card out. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can target one synchro monster you control or in your graveyard, banish it, and if you do, you get to add this card to your hand. So a lot of value that this card provides, and it's also a level 4 tuner. Then we have 3 copies of the new Bone Archfiend. So if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can send one other card from your hand or the field to the grave and special summon this card out. Then you are going to be locked into Dark Dragon Synchro monsters. See that be reflected in the extra deck. And you can target one face-up monster you control that has a level. Send one Fiend Tuner from your hand or deck to the grave, and if you do, increase or decrease that monster's level by 1. You can see some level modulation with it, makes it a bit easier to get Red Rising Dragon, or if you already have that out or you need another boss monster out, you can also use this card to do that. 3 copies of the Earthbound Prisoner Stone Sweeper. The only thing you need to know about this card is that it searches out a level 3 or lower Fiend Tuner monster from your deck to your hand. So Soul Resonator is perfect as a search. Then we have 1 copy of Nibiru, just as the other hand trap of choice. And then we have 1 copy of Foolish Burial. We have Bone Archfiend that can actually special summon itself out from the grave. And then we have something like Vision Resonator that's also a spell or trap search when it's sent to the graveyard. 3 copies of Resonator Co-op because it's a Rhoda for the deck. 1 copy of Pot of Prosperity just to increase the overall consistency of the deck. 3 copies of Crimson Gaia, as this card is able to add 1 Red Dragon Archfiend or 1 card that mentions it from your deck to your hand. So this card in tandem with the Soul Resonator just really helps make this deck a lot more consistent. Red Dragon Archfiend declares an attack. You can change all monsters your opponent controls to face on defense position. And if a monster on the field is destroyed by battle or a card effect, you can special summon 1 Red Dragon Archfiend from your grave. So quite a lot of value that this card provides. 2 copies of Called by the Grave because hand traps. 3 copies of Imperm, just another good generic hand trap, and then 1 copy of Red Zone. So when your opponent activates a card or effect where you control Red Dragon Archfiend or Synchro monster that mentions it, then you can actually pop a card on the field, and then you can target one of your banished Dark Dragon Synchro monsters and special summon it out. Alright guys, before I go to the extra deck, if you are enjoying the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that, and make sure to stay tuned because I'm going to be dropping a combos video really soon. So here we're going to get started with 3 copies of Red Rising Dragon. This is just your go-to starter synchro monster that you're going to go into. It's going to be your extender as well, so you really need the 3 copies. 1 copy of Ancient Pixie Dragon. The main thing is that this is the Dark Dragon synchro monster, and if you need to get a level 7, then you can do so doing this. 2 copies of Red Dragon Archfiend because we do have something like the new Scar Dragon Archfiend that needs it to get out, and from there you can just kind of extend. 1 copy of Void Ogre Dragon. This is not going to be completely often that you're going to be able to get this card, but if you have no cards in your hand, then being able to just negate a spell or trap effect is great. 1 copy of Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. It just pops the entire board, and then it burns your opponent for a lot of damage. 1 copy of the new Scar Dragon Archfiend. So this card is treated as a Red Dragon Archfiend when it's on the field or grave, and that's usually relevant for Red Zone. But otherwise, if this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Red Dragon Archfiend from your extra deck. And as you can see, it's specifically Red Dragon Archfiend, which is the reason why we're running this, as we're just going to be able to get it out, and then from there, usually synchro summon it using it. Then if this card was sent to the graveyard as synchro material for a Dark Dragon monster, then you can destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. So it's a nice add-in effect of just popping your entire opponent's board. Then we have 1 copy of Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. being able to just have some sort of negate is nice. You summon this out and you can target one face-up card your opponent controls and negate its effects. One copy of Red Dragon Archfiend Bane. You can tribute one monster, then target one Red Dragon Archfiend monster in your graveyard and special summon it out. So again, another reason why this card can be really good. And just being able to get it out is just great because if you have other extra tuners, then you can use it to get out something else. Baron the Floor, so this is for the instance in which you're not fully locked into Dark Dragon Synchros and just locked into Synchro monsters in general, then you can just get out Baron the Floor. Otherwise, we have Bestial Dispatter, so this card, being able to target one of your banished light or dark monsters, special summon it onto the field, is great. You're going to get a lot of value out of that, and then of course it's either a negate or a destruction effect depending on which card you're bouncing back. And then we have something like Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity that's actually able to protect you for the entire turn, the turn it's summoned. And not only that, but if it destroys a monster by battle, it does a bunch of burn damage. And then here we have Red Supernova Dragon. This is an incredible boss monster that quick effect when your opponent tries to activate a monster effect or when they try to declare an attack, you can activate the effect, banish this card, and also banish all cards your opponent controls, which means that this could provide a lot of value for the Bestial Dispatter, but you also are able to bring it out with using something like Red Zone. So after you use it, you can use something like Red Zone, bring it back out, and you just get a lot of value out of this card. But otherwise, let me know what you guys think about the deck profile and what do you guys think about the new Red Dragon Archfiend support. And make sure to stay tuned because I am going to be dropping the combos really soon.